2 words, the bane of any man wearing a dress shirt.
Muffin top.
Nothing makes your dress shirt look worse than tons of extra fabric ballooning around your waist. If you have a thin, athletic, or average build, it can be very difficult to find a shirt off the rack that doesn't have this issue. This is Thomas with Real Men Real Style, and today I'm going to show you how to fix the dreaded muffin top from home so all your dress shirts fit perfectly. And don't worry if your sleeves are also too baggy, we're going to take care of that too. Here are the tools you're going to need to get started. A sewing machine, thread that closely matches the color of your fabric, sewing pins, safety pins, a fabric pencil or chalk, a seam ripper, scissors, and an iron. Step number 1, measure and pin. There are 2 ways we can get the right measurements for how much fabric we need to take in. The first and easiest method is to take a perfect fitting dress shirt you already own and use it as a template. Turn your dress shirt inside out, button it up, and lay it on a flat surface. Now take your perfect fitting dress shirt and lay it on top. Line up the top of the shoulders and the outer edges of the sleeves. Now take your fabric pencil and trace a line along the edge of the template shirt, going from the bottom of the hem all the way to the armpit. If you are only slimming the waist of the shirt, then you need to taper the line gradually into the armpit. If you cut in too sharply, you're going to create a nasty looking dimple. If you are only slimming the sleeves, then taper from the armpit and trace your way down to the cuff. You don't want to sew through the cuff, so you will need to taper the line before you reach the top edge of the cuff. Just like the armpit, make sure it's a gradual, smooth taper. If you're slimming both the body and the sleeves, then you can continue the line through the armpit without tapering. Now put in some sewing pins so the fabric will stay in place. Make sure to have the pins oriented in the direction you'll be sewing so they can be easily removed as you go. Remember that the bulk of the fabric will go on the left side of the sewing machine. So what do you do if you don't have the perfect fitting shirt to use as a template? In that case, you're going to need to figure out the measurements for yourself. Turn the dress shirt inside out and put it on. It's a bit tricky to do, but you'll need to fasten the buttons as well. Pinch the fabric at your sides until it fits as snugly as you want, then secure it in place with a safety pin. Continue to do this from the bottom of the hem all the way up to the armpit if you're taking in the sides. If you're taking in the sleeves, go from the armpit to the top edge of the cuff. You want the shirt to fit close, but the front button should not be pulling open. If you're seeing a lot of tension there, it's too tight and you need to back off. Also make sure that you're taking an equal amount of fabric from both sides. Now take off your shirt and put it on a flat surface. Trace a line along the safety pins with your fabric pencil. Then, replace the safety pins with sewing pins. Remember to point them in the right direction so they can be easily removed later. Gents, if you notice that the shirt I'm working on is a button-down Oxford, and thus is not technically a dress shirt, be sure to smash that like button. Step number 2, let's sew. Install your matching thread and prepare your bobbin. Let's do this. We're going to be sewing using a straight stitch. Go with a 2.5mm stitch length. Lay down your first few stitches. Then, go back and make a couple of back stitches. This locks in the thread and prevents the stitch from coming undone. Carefully stitch down the line you drew with your fabric pencil, removing the pins as you go. Be sure to sew in a smooth, even line. You don't want to zigzag back and forth. Once you reach the end, add a couple more back stitches and you're set. Now, it's time to try on the shirt to see if you're happy with the fit. If it's too tight, use your thread ripper to remove the stitch you just made and start over. If you're satisfied with how the shirt came out, take your scissors and trim off the excess fabric inside the shirt. Be sure to leave 1/4 inch of seam allowance. We don't want the fabric to fray, so use a zigzag or overlock stitch to create a clean, finished edge. Now take your clothing iron and set it to the correct temperature for your fabric. Press the seam flat for a clean, finished look. Now you're looking sharp and stylish in your dress shirt, instead of sloppy and unkempt. So now your dress shirt looks great, but what about your baggy trousers? Can those be fixed too? Check out this video right here, gents, where I'm going to show you how to easily tailor your trousers at home. You don't even need a sewing machine.